but we're just letting them know that they're going to be used for a very, very mighty purpose in prophecy. All right, they're going to be used to aid in the end of this beast system. All right, it says, and thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the prince of Meshech and Tubal, and the Lord is against you, Edomites. You see, but what he's going to do right here, it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. All right, he's going to stir up your mind. He's going to put you back in that old Soviet spirit that had America shook, and NATO was formed for the purpose of coming up against them. See? And now you have NATO countries, all right, doing deals with Russia and EU countries. All right? So this thing is all set. The Lord has these Edomites all separated, man. All right, they're not together in one sense, man. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, all right, in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, missile defense systems, missiles, all sorts of things, man. And you hear this, you got Jake saying that there ain't no missiles in the Bible. All right, well, how in the hell is the beast going to hate the whore and burn her with fire? All of these missiles we see, all right, these nations gathering unto themselves, but a nigga is just dead set on rebellion, man. All right? That brother's on fire. It says, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And they're doing all sorts of military drills. Okay? They're ready, man. Okay? It says Persia, you see, which is Iran, Ethiopia. Okay? Now, Ethiopia just cut a deal with Russia. All right? That if they trained up, their military and armed them, they could set up military bases in their land. See that? So prophecy is coming to pass at an all-time high, man. In Libya, all of them, all right, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Okay? So all of these nations are coming together, all right, and openly and secretly, they're preparing to shoot missiles and come against Babylon the Great, man. Okay? That's why you see constantly Babylon the Great, doing wickedness in Syria. Well, Iran and Russia has interest over there, man. So what are they going to do? They're going to protect. See, as it's going to say, Gomer and his bands, the house of Togomar and the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, all right, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. See, the Lord is basically, they're formulating their own beast system, right? It says, and be thou a guard unto them. And Russia is acting as a guard to these various different nations, man. All right, and Babylon the Great is fucking with them all. I believe Iran is one of the few nations that's not controlled by the IMF, the bankers. Okay, so that's why you constantly hear friction with them, as well as other different nations, man. Now, I'm just gonna jump to this one point, verse 10. Thus saith the Lord God, it shall come to pass at that time, shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. See, and that evil thought is getting ready to come into the mind of Gog and Magog, because America, Babylon the Great will not stop. They're not going to stop. Okay? And thou shalt say, I will go to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest. And who's at rest? You Americans. You see, now right now you're catching a little bit of hell, but the mindset of Babylon Babylon is to dwell without care. Okay? They think they're never going to be struck by any missiles. They think that they're going to continue to just do and bully and do all of this wickedness and be justified, man. Well, the Lord is setting up a situation to where your military power, your EU, your NATO, they're now divided in opinions against you. What was once your allies and once your power, okay, they're going to also think this evil thought. And that's in the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter, man, or 17th chapter as well. The nations are angry. And I shall say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. All right, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gate, because the military is stretched so thin, just like ancient Rome. They're stretched so thin, they're losing allies daily. Okay, so ultimately they don't have that protection that they once had. They don't have that grip that they once had. Okay, now as I said, this also is mimicked in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. Now this isn't per se speaking of Russia, but Russia will be a part of this mindset. Okay, Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns, which are the vassal states, ultimately the EU nations, the subordinate states, all right, that work for the interests of Babylon the Great. The 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. See, in Russia is going to be a part of that mindset that they take to hate the whore. All right, now there's many other reasons why they're going to hate the whore. All right, it shall make her desolate and naked. See, and shall eat her flesh and burn with fire. Now, how in the hell are these nations going to burn Babylon the Great with fire if there aren't any missiles? What they call them, cocktails? No, man. It says, for God hath put it in their hearts, their minds, to fulfill his will. Right now, Russia, Gog and Magog is not mentioned here. These 10 horns have nothing to do with Russia. But there will be a Gog and Magog influence to do this. See? To bring this prophecy to pass. And it's happening right now. Okay? You can just type in Russia-EU relations and you'll see. All right? Which, Trump spoke against that. Biden is going to speak against that. But these nations are like, man, look, we got to do what we got to do. So eventually they're going to be like, we just got to get this whore out of the way and we can move forward with our plan. But God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree to give their kingdom unto the beast, because they're subordinate, they're vassals. So these nations have given their kingdom to the beast system for the purpose of thwarting Babylon the Great. All right, but when until the words of God should be fulfilled, and the words of God are being fulfilled at this very point, as the men of the Lord prophesy. You see? And the woman which thou sawest was the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So the kings of the earth are mad. They're angry. So they're all formulating plans to get this whore out of the way, because everything has to go through this whore. You cannot sleep on the power, all right, that this whore has in world conflicts and politics, and everything pretty much is going to eventually go through America and Britain. The bankers rule out of Britain. You see? So the Most High has put it in their minds to fulfill his will. But for a while they would agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God should be fulfilled. Now also in Revelation 20, Revelation the 20th chapter, because Babylon the Great ain't going to stop. Revelation 20. And 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. From the Renaissance period all the way up to this point. Satan has been doing his bidding, man. Even fucking over his own people. Excuse my French. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. See? Blaming them, putting things in the media for the purpose of forwarding propaganda. Okay? Shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And who does it directly mention? Gog and Magog, to gather them to battle. So Gog and Magog's role in, Armageddon and the destruction of Babylon the Great is vital. They're going to be the ones responsible for that mindset. Let's get these niggas out of the way, and we can start something new. Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. The number is whom is as the sand of the sea, which is speaking of, ultimately World War III. You see, World War III, man. So this is where we're at. And Babylon the Great is working his wickedness, working his witchcraft. And as Biden said, pretty soon you're going to see how we retaliate to Russia. So look for some friction between Russia, all right, and Babylon the Great very, very soon, man. So this is Revelation 11 and 18. This is where we are. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged. See, the heathen, 2/3 of our people is judgment time, and people are losing. But those who are written in the book of life are getting ready to win. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great. All right, so that's the 144,000, and then that large multitude. The Lord is getting ready to have mercy. See, but it all starts with these nations, coming together to fulfill prophecy in the destruction of Babylon the Great, World War III. Okay, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And you Edomites are going to destroy each other. Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, but all of you Edomite nations are going to be taken down. All right, and finally put out, man, because that's ultimately what's needed for the earth to rest, man, and for us to rest. So I just wanted to get into that. The article itself, just speaks to a mindset. Of where we are, So look for that friction. Look for more, back and forth between Russia and Babylon the Great, because that is vital in the end coming. Shalom.